for this exercise this week, we're going to take Shador. Next week, we'll take Travis Hunter. Spoiler alert. Week after that, we'll take Abdul. We are not going to make trades right now. So now it gets interesting. Now we get to pick number 33 with the Browns on the clock. So some of the names available. James Pierce, I did not expect him to be available. I'm not going to read every name, but as we kind of go along here, you guys can see who's available. Tyleik Williams, I know that's the guy that you like. Lance, I really like Landon Jackson. If James Pierce is actually here at 33, you have to take him, right? We can say that maybe that's not realistic and we won't take him, but I feel like if he's sitting there at 33, he's got to be on that list of guys you would take.
Yeah, I mean, there was a point, I think, maybe as recently as like a year and a half ago, where he was considered the number one pick in this entire class.
I'm huge on Tyleik Williams. I don't have him as my top guy. Obviously, Graham is, and I love Kenneth Grant. But Tyleik Williams, man, you watch him on film. Boy, is he explosive. Big upside. Great in the scheme fit.
Jaden Higgins really intrigues me. I mean, the guy doesn't drop anything. I really like Josh Connerly, the tackle from Oregon. I value offensive linemen who can move in space, and Josh Connerly is one of the best movers in this entire draft. He's a younger guy, little undersized, but I think you can afford to let him get a little stronger, but you can't teach the movement ability that Josh Connerly Jr. has, and with his ability to move in space, it's so paramount in a zone type of scheme that Kevin Stefanski's trying to bring back to the Browns. So I really like him.
This would be a trade back possibility for me, because then I could trade back and I could get Jaden Higgins. I could trade back and I could get Landon Jackson. Two guys I really like. Listen, this would not be one of our Browns only mock drafts if we didn't start off by completely overruling Lance. We're letting Tim have this one. Here we are at 67. I actually really like Shamar Turner. I think he's really good. He was playing on a stress fracture last year that didn't fully heal. He's really good. He's a disruptor on the inside. I think the Browns can use a little mean on that defense. I would love it. If we take Shamar Turner here, so here's the guys, Lance, that I would pound the table for right here. Trey Harris, Jalen Noah. Any of these receivers. Now I would hope one of these guys will still be there at 94. I haven't looked at the tight ends that are available right now, but Mason Taylor is on the board. I'm just going to say, if you get me Shamar Turner, I think he's a dude. I know he's maybe not the ideal size for what the Browns do at defensive tackle. And I know you used a high pick on a defensive tackle last year in Mike Hall. You watch that Texas A&M defensive line. Like there's just dudes on that line. I love Skirton. I love Shamar Stewart. I think Shamar Turner's a player.
All right, I'm gonna go Harold Fannin here. Harold Fannin, to me, in terms of if the Browns are going to go back to 12 and 13 personnel, and let's think about 12 personnel. So if you got 12 personnel and you can get a receiver, however, maybe Tillman gets better. They have Judy. So now if you can get a guy like Harold Fannin who can, at 230, he's undersized, so he can do a little bit, that motion. He can do a little bit of that flex tight end where he can motion and be a fullback at time, but he can also be a flex tight end. And what Kevin Stefanski likes to do is he likes to get in those, when you go 12 and 13 personnel, defenses are going to go regular personnel and you're going to get three backers in the game. That means Harold Fannin, who is a mismatch against any linebacker, he had 117 catches this year and played great against big schools.
What stands out for me, I don't think as much about the 40 time. The 3-cone time for Harold Fannin on the combine was sensational, and you see that in the way he maneuvers. Maybe he's not flashy, but man, oh man, I just love fluidity from that position. For just that combination of Fannin and Njoku. I think there's a lot there I really love about Harold Fannin.
It is. We're going to make the pick. The draft room has spoken. I will be texting you guys when Shamar Turner has 6 sacks as a rookie from the interior. That's all right. We're going Harold Fannin. So here we are sitting at 94. We got 2 more picks that we're going to get to make. This would be Friday night still.
How about a safety? Can I get a one hi-hat safety? Can I get Billy
Lance,
Bowman now?
You are preaching to the choir if we're going to talk safeties.
Can we get Billy Bowman?
I think that is an underrated need for this football team. So
and a one hi-hat. I'm going to say they leave Delpit down the box. Give me a one hi-hat.
Andrew Makuba. Smaller guy.
Jonas Sanker.
There he is.
I like him.
There's my guy.
We all have safeties we love out of here. Sanker, Bowman. Makuba's a smaller guy, but if I'm thinking ball hawk center field safeties, that's Andrew Makuba to a T. You don't need a bigger safety when you already have Grant Delpit in run support. I want a guy who you could just stick back in center field safety, let him read everything, and then react to it. And Makuba was such a great player for Texas this season. Transferred from Clemson and really fit in very well in that defense.
Billy Bowman ran a 4.42, has 11 interceptions, played very well in Oklahoma. Can get down in the box if needed. He's not long. However, he had some struggles in terms of 50-50 balls, but is a absolute one of the best. I think him and Xavier Watts in terms of breaking down what they see, reading it, and pulling that trigger. Billy Bowman he's my third safety. So the Browns need a guy back there that can tackle and get the ball and get some interceptions.
Should we give Lance something here, Tim? Should we just throw Lance a bone? We need him. We need him for 3 more weeks.
There's plenty to like about Billy Bowman. Even looking at PFF's report about him, got the draft guide just as my secondary resource. First thing about him, blazing speed. And I mean, if you're going to be a center field safety, one thing you got to be able to do is track the football in the air and be able to just fly to whoever's there. And if you have a guy who's got like speed that's almost 4.4 flat, is able to do that, worth a flyer there certainly.
Last pick here. Who do you guys like here? We haven't addressed edge rusher, right? Have we?
I don't think so. I like Ashton Jalad. I mean, he's got a really good pass rush win rate. If I'm looking for tools, I mean, guys who can win a one-on-one, that's where I would take him.
Jeffrey Bassa out of Oregon. He's a kid that is a perfect fit. He's a hybrid. Worry about what's going on with JOK. He kind of fits that mold. He can cover. He's a great blitzer. Really liked what he did at Oregon. He runs very well. Ton of tackles. Very knowledgeable.
Who's playing linebacker for this football team, especially if Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah can't go in 2025, which we still don't know what's going on with that. We don't know if he's going to be on the field, if we're going to show up in the spring and he's going to be out there, or if we're going to show up in the 3rd week of September and we still don't know what's happening. You do have to figure out who's playing linebacker for this football team.
Yeah, I'm assuming based on these rankings that Barrett Carter from Clemson is gone. He's another guy I absolutely love. He's one of my favorite He's one of my favorite back 7 guys in this draft. I loved him throughout his time at Clemson. Oh, there he is. Okay, that's my guy right there. Barrett Carter. When I wrote about my linebackers, Carter, barely cracked my top 5 because, he's a smaller guy. He's a shorter guy. Maybe not as athletic as JOK, maybe a similar body type, maybe a little stronger than JOK was coming out of Notre Dame. But Carter, just a really productive guy out of Clemson, and the guy I think, if you're looking to replace JOK, why not get a guy with a similar body type?
I like Carter. I think everything he said in terms of bringing the fight, I think that's a great, he has a little bit of an attitude in terms of like he plays a little nasty. I like his ability to read and get downhill. And in Schwartz's defense, remember, you're not reading that double team and coming off that double team. You're in charge of a gap. I'm really okay with either Bossa or Carter.
We have consensus then. We're going linebacker. They gave us bad grades for this draft, guys. And actually, so we got an F for Shador, an A- for Connerly, an F for Harold Fannin, an F for Billy Bowman, and a D for Barrett Carter. That's harsh. You know what? I take pride in that. Doubt us in April. We're going to win games in September.
A lot of people hated John Schneider's early drafts in Seattle, and look what happened there.
I don't care what they say. I think that's an outstanding draft right there.
Hey, just pick good football players. Just give me good football players. That's
guys
all
that can play. Guys that can play, no doubt.
Our first mock draft in the book was Shador Sanders, Josh Connerly, Harold Fannin, Billy Bowman, and Barrett Carter.